Hello and welcome. My name is Thomas, and in this video we're going to talk about why and how you should incorporate video into your business. Okay, so pretty much all of us are pretty familiar with the concept of if you run any type of business, particularly a type of online business, it's a really good idea to create regular content. We do this because it gives us the opportunity to show our expertise. It helps us be valuable and useful to the audience we want to serve, which ends up secondarily being a great way to be able to gain clients as well as customers, and just generally to spread brand awareness of the type of company or business or service that we are trying to build. So with this, where a lot of people begin, and I am one of these people, is with something like a blog, where you create like a weekly blog post that's relevant to the topics and to the audience that you're trying to reach. Secondarily to that, a lot of people, if they don't start out with a blog, or even while they start out with a blog, will do something like a podcast. And podcasts are great as well. Obviously, for something like a blog, you're going to need, some time to actually sit down and read it. The advantage of something like a podcast, of course, is that somebody who is listening to it can be doing so while they're driving or while they're out, walking the dog or running errands or exercising. So there is kind of a nice other level of consumption that somebody can get from a podcast. Another reason people really tend to like podcasts as well is because they're more long form. Since somebody is going to kind of have a podcast on in the background, typically you can get away with having 30, 45 minutes to even an hour of content. So me, myself, I've actually tried out both of these, and eventually I decided to try out video as well. As I've experimented with each of these, again, written articles as well as podcast audio episodes as well as video, I have found video by far out of the three to be the most powerful of those channels in which to create content, and here's why. The first reason is because video is so versatile. See, if you want something that, if you start with a blog post, which don't get me wrong, blog posts have their place in the world, they're useful, I still read many of them, but if you start there with a piece of content, it pretty much ends there. Either you have to go back and reread that in kind of an audio form if you want it to be audio, or you have to, again, reread on camera if you want that to become a video. However, if we reverse that, if you create a video first, you have a whole network of directions or rabbit trails you can go with that video. You can have a transcript made and have that sent out to your email list, for example, or transcribed and edited and put into a blog post or ebook form. You can also have the audio extracted from that video, at which point you can take it and interweave it with other works that you're doing. You can put something like that into a podcast. I don't recommend just taking videos, cutting out the audio, and putting it into a podcast. I think you have to create a podcast in a method that works best for that platform. However, the nice thing about a video is just how much versatility there is out of a single piece of content. Another reason why I think that video is so powerful is that they get to see you. I know some of us can be kind of self-conscious. I myself, I don't even like appearing on camera. It's not something I enjoy to do. However, it's the type of medium, however, that fits the type of business and work I do best, because most of what I do is extremely visual. Try some time trying to explain the way a layout or a design or a particular piece of software works over audio, and you're gonna have some challenges. But most of all, for you as somebody who is actually running the online business, I've talked about in the past how important it is, particularly if you're building a personal brand, how vital it is that you become that brand. It's not your logo or your name, it's you. And the great thing about doing video is that they get to see you. They get to see that you are a real smiling person who they can interact with, who they can do business with. That's not something that you can achieve with a podcast, and that's not something that you can achieve with a written article, unless of course you put in some photos of yourself, which don't always necessarily help to fit or achieve the value in that article. With a video, on the other hand, the fact that you're there talking is just kind of inherent in the video. Okay, so that's kind of a few reasons as to why video can be useful, but what are some ways that we can actually use or leverage video to help grow our business? The first is a vlog, and these are pretty simple. You've seen a lot of these. I don't personally do a ton of them. I do them every now and then, but that's where you can hold up a camera or even a smartphone and you walk around, or you're in a specific location and you are documenting. The whole idea with a vlog, a blog, and a video format is that you're going to be documenting something. You're going to be telling somebody a journey or a process. These are great if you want to give somebody kind of a behind the scenes of the type of the work that you do, or if you kind of want more of an informal video. But the value in this is that you get to show, rather than tell, somebody some of the secrets or useful information that you have to provide through your business or platform that you're trying to build. Another great platform or medium in video when you're creating your videos is tutorials or how-tos. Now, with something like this, you don't necessarily have to appear on camera. I've done plenty of tutorials and how-tos where I never appear on camera at all. I'm literally just sharing my screen and using screen recording software with a voiceover to do that. There is an immense power in this because you can show people step by step your process for writing. You can even watch how you, the particular software or apps that you're using in order to write something, or even something as simple or basic as how to structure your Excel spreadsheets. All of those things you can show people as opposed to having to explain it over something like audio or with an article and a whole list of bullet points as well as screenshots that are kind of interwoven into that article. Another type of video that's really useful, I've worked one of these into Rightly & Company, and I've had a number of them kind of worked in over at Notable Themes, is what I like to call kind of hello or welcome videos. Videos where you just appear on camera and you just say hello to somebody who's visiting your site or visiting your brand for the first time. This is a great opportunity, once again, like I mentioned previously, to appear on camera, for people to be able to recognize you, to see what you look like, to hear what you sound like, and to be able to immediately kind of make that personal connection with you. One of the things I've liked to tell a number of the different people who I've worked with in the past who are trying to determine what medium they're going to work with, the great thing about video is it's about as close as you can get to meeting someone in person and shaking their hand. That would be the only step you could take beyond video. Since we're working in an online business platform, we can't always do that. And so video is the next best thing. In a nice little welcome video, you can say, hi, this is who I am, this is what I do, this is how I can serve you. You can kind of turn your about page into a 2 to 5 minute welcome or introduction about who you are and how you can help the person visiting the page. Another type of video that you can create, which is similar to what a lot of people use podcasts for, is interviews. Interviews are incredibly powerful, and in my opinion, I think you can get a ton more power out of an interview when you do a video interview. Audio is great, and you've even seen a number of different kind of like Skype interviews, which also work well. But if you can sit down with someone one-on-one and have a conversation in more of a kind of formal setting, or something that kind of captures their personality, their different, facial expressions, even down to what they're wearing, you can make a video that is 10 times more powerful, in my opinion, than something that's strictly audio or even an interview that you're reading. Kind of going back to the point that I made a little bit previous about showing and not telling, video is also powerful for capturing your product or service showcases. So for example, if you have a physical product that you're trying to sell, even if it's something as simple as t-shirts or some sort of merch or a mug, something like that, or even if you've designed and developed your own planner or whatever it is, you can actually showcase that through video. That could be something as simple as having it sitting on your desk as you're talking about it, or you can even go beyond that and do nice, beautiful, sequenced B-roll if you're really into the camera, technology end of it and videography end of it, or even hiring a professional to help you do that as well. There's a lot of different ways that you can approach this, but again, somebody being able to see even 10 seconds of video is going to be much more effective than 20 or 30 minutes trying to describe it or talk about it. Another great way that you can start to incorporate video into your platform or into your business is testimonials. So what is great and what is helpful in any type of online business is testimonials, because they're going to see other people who have achieved success through you or through your products or services. What you'll typically see on the web is a nice little picture of somebody. You'll see a nice little thumbnail circle picture, and then their little blurb about what they gained or how it changed or impacted them. But even better, are those testimonials where you just have a minute to 3 minutes to sometimes even 5 minutes of a person, even on something as simple as a webcam, telling you their experience. If you've got a physical product, if they can hold up that physical product and say, this is how I've used it or something like that, the power and the impact that you can have through that particular video is going to be significantly stronger than something that somebody just kind of skims over or even hears secondhand on a podcast. Okay, so then the next question, now that we've got a whole bunch of ideas and there's plenty more what you could use video for, but the next logical question is, okay, let's say I want to start getting into the process of video. What I'm not going to do in this episode, I am going to do it in the future episode. I'm not going to get into all the specific gear to get. A lot of people will say, just use your smartphone and that's all you need. I think that that's okay to start with, but I do think eventually if video is going to be a primary source of the content you create, you should invest in some basic camera gear. Again, we'll talk about that in a future video. But for the time being, if you're going to start creating content in video form, you have to start determining where you're going to publish that. So there's two main options that I typically recommend, and you can use both of them or one or the other, and those two are going to be YouTube and Vimeo. Now, each of them have their strengths and weaknesses. If you're just looking for a free video hosting platform, just go with YouTube, because they do have some privacy built in so that you can upload a video, you can set it to private, and then you can embed it on your homepage if you're doing like a welcome page or something like that. Some of the limitations to YouTube, however, is the fact that to some degree, most of the videos you put on there are going to be semi-public, so it's not really something that if you want to have only in one place and one place only, like on your homepage, it can be a little bit difficult to actually make that happen. Now, if you are looking to make videos that you release similar to this on something like a weekly basis or something that you're continually putting out there that you want more people to see, obviously publishing on something like YouTube is going to be great because number one, it's free, and number two, you're going to have the exposure or the reach that is inherent with the platform of YouTube. If you're going to be relying more heavily upon content that is kind of hidden or specific to your email list or stuff that's only going to be embedded on your site, and you're not necessarily looking for a distributions platform, you're more looking for a video content hosting platform, I would recommend something like Vimeo, and I would upgrade to something like their Pro platform so that you can make sure that you're able to upload as much footage as you need to. So a lot of different reasons for this. Their player is customizable. There's a lot of features that you can integrate. There's even some marketing centric type features that you can integrate. It's really easy to embed. You can also there's a lot of things that you can customize about how the player works, things like that. It's also super easy. One of the things I've noticed as well is that Vimeo's interface is pretty organized or easy to keep footage organized or videos organized based upon the type of project or series or course or whatever it is that you are creating that video for. Okay, so does all of this mean that podcasts and articles are dead? Absolutely not. I just think it's one of those things where it helps sometimes to have kind of a change of perspective or to kind of hear some of the reasonings as to why video is so powerful. So I totally understand video isn't for everyone. There are some businesses that just don't need as much, visual heavy representation of what they're doing, at which point that's totally fine. But I just wanted to share some of these tips with you, particularly as video has become a very heavy part of the type of business that I'm running. So like I said, I am going to be doing some videos in the future, in the coming weeks, about the specific gear that I use and some that I would recommend for someone just getting started. So if you're not already subscribed, make sure you do so. If you found this useful, hit that like button, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.